SDRL Season 7. Week 3 sees our drivers at Imola and then Mexico for our first double header of the season. Our driver lineup for Imola carries a few reserves. Cloud is in for Red Bull's Tyrant, Windex is in for Ferrari's Rando, Shuri for Oscar at Williams, and the first time appearance of Barbotti in for Alex F1 at VCarb. The single lap quali produced a formidable front 5 rows, all with one thing on their minds. This first race runs to 22 laps. Shuri and Josh started on hards, everyone else on the mediums. Barbant's got a great launch, immediately putting distance between his rear wing and his brother behind. At the second chicane, Jack's brakes failed and his race ended in the barriers. His crash would be the pivotal moment of this first race. The safety car came out and the drivers had a decision to make. Stay on mediums or pit now for hards. Barbant, Barbotti and Cloud pitted, quickly followed by Shan, Zyros and Orax, all switched to hards. It was a fascinating setup for a race. Those that stayed out were leading on fresh mediums, but would need to pit at some point. The championship leaders on the shiny new hards were at the back, with no need to pit again if they could just hang on for 18 laps. Mars wasted no time at the restart, but there was a sense of inevitability as Barbant on his new hards once more slewed a train back through the pack. Barbant made P3 by lap 10, with Barbotti, Cloud, Shan and Zyros right behind. To all intents, any chance Mars had of the win or even a podium was now over. Cloud took P2 from Barbotti on lap 13. Could he bridge the gap to Barbant in P1, and would Barbotti hang on to P3, with Shan, Orax and Zyros pressing hard from behind? Things quickly got complicated for Barbotti when he picked up a 3-second track limit penalty. The last 9 laps were largely about those that pitted lap 1, managing their tyres and maintaining the lead, those that stayed on mediums jostling for the remaining points. Barbant took the checkered flag 4 seconds ahead of Cloud, Shan and Barbotti a further 8 seconds back. Mars impressively made P5, the only driver who didn't pit on lap 1 to make the top 6. Zyros in P6 had potential to finish higher, and Sert battled hard for his P7. Later, Tess, Will and Berkey rounded out the top 10. On to Mexico. A reverse formation at Mexico saw a slightly different grid. The question would be whether the front runners could hold on to those positions for 25 laps. Off tyres, Josh and Wins opted for hards, Windex and Shuri at the back also on the hards, the rest of the grid on mediums. Lay got an incredible start, building a 1.4 second gap to Berkey before turn 4 of lap 1. Turn 10, Orax with wing damage seemed to lose control, slid across the track and took out Barbant in the process, effectively ending both their hopes for a podium. Lay extended her lead to 2.4 seconds on lap 3, with Brad as P2, Berkey P3, Sert, Josh and Jack contesting close behind. Barbotti busily led an impressive charge back from P10, with Cloud and Mars slipstreaming behind. Lay, Berkey, Shan and Josh built a strong lead, but saw the mediums start to drop off by lap 7. It'd be close if their lead was to survive the necessary pit stop. Lay picked up a heartbreaking 10-second penalty when she pitted on lap 9. She lost position to Barbotti on the exit, but managed to stop anyone else getting past through turns 1, 2 and 3. Perhaps struggling with what might have been, Lay spun turn 1 of lap 11, ending her impressive start and making points a real challenge. Perhaps savouring his laps at P1, Josh was the last to pit. Cloud moved up to P1, Barbotti P2, Sert P3. Lay in P4 kept battling. Back in P11, Josh would need to overcome a 5-second deficit to make it back up into the points. With 5 laps to go, the entire grid pitted on lap 20, most going for softs. The front 3 of Cloud, Barbotti and Sert maintained their positions, with the rest of the front runners shuffled in the resulting mix of double stacks. Barbotti on his new mediums challenged and took P1 from Cloud on lap 22. As ever, Cloud was patient, and on lap 24 took back the lead on the straight towards turn 1. The last laps were hotly contested, especially between Mars and Sert, but the positions didn't change. Cloud took the checkered flag, followed in by Barbotti's accomplished drive in P2 and Sert's well-earned P3. Mars made it to P4 from his 8th row start, and Barbant survived his back row start and an Orax missile to the right flank on lap 1 to take P5. Lay will be disappointed not to have won this race, but will probably settle for P6 given the 10-second penalty. Shan turned in another impressive race to take P7, Josh a hard-fought P8, Berkey some well-deserved points in P9 and Shorey in P10. Barban still sits atop the Drivers' Championship, but he now has competition from Cloud, with Mars falling off the points the last few weeks. It's good to see some new names in the mix too, with Shan, Barbotti and Sert no doubt feeling a little dizzy. Barbans and Zyros have both contributed important points to give Alpine a solid lead, with VCARB keeping it interesting with the efforts of Mars and F1 Alex. Mercedes look good too with consistent results from Shan and Sert. Now on to Week 4 and Bahrain.